Howdy folks, welcome to another beautiful day out here in Vancouver. Me and Belinda are heading to the P&E, that stands for the Pacific National Exhibition grounds, to the Country Music Festival. On a Sunday afternoon from 1 o'clock till 6 o'clock, there's some country music and food trucks and stuff like that. And a friend of ours, well, Nicole, always wanted to go, so she's invited us and we're going to go check it out. Check, Belinda's got, wait, hang on a second, let me get it. Belinda's got her cowboy outfit, the boots, the hat, the shirt, the whole lot. Me, on the other hand, not so much, because my boots don't fit anymore. And none of my cowboy stuff fits anymore, so, yeah, well, there you have it. So I'm in the, I don't know what you call it.
A Texas t-shirt.
I got a Texas t-shirt, yeah, so at least something. All right, but this is the P&E, the Pacific National Exhibition. This is where all the events happen and lots of stuff going on here always. It's our first time here, so we'll check it out. I'll get some footage from inside. First, got to figure out where the hell we are. All right. All right, so we've walked a mile. This is the P&E, or the arena, from the other side. We still don't know exactly where we're supposed to go. It looks like people are heading up there to it's the country club, isn't it? So we've got parking at the P&E. Anyway.
But it said the P&E, but Hastings Road.
Ah. It's a beautiful sunny day though. Well, there's at least a board that says entrance. We're getting somewhere. And big fences around, so.
Ah, there. Check it.
Vendor sponsors check-in.
Cool.
So there's the vendor sponsors check-in for the event.
So at least we have the
And this side is the entrance. So at least we get a bit of exercise walking all the way from the car to the entrance. I'm the designated driver today since I'm not dressed like a cowboy. So it's the event starts at 1 o'clock and it runs till 6. So it's just a 5-hour country music festival. It'll be interesting. It's actually a cool place, this, eh? P&E, first time around that I've ever seen it. Nice little manicured gardens and little fountains and things. Let's actually come check it out again. Statues. I don't know who that is or what that symbolizes. It looks like a family of immigrants if I check it out. A guy, a wife and a kid and a suitcase. And there's basketball courts. Oh, there the music is starting. All right, so I'll get some footage. Oh, check this. Big skate park as well. Looks a little bit worn, but it is quite a big skate park. Oh, right. Bicycles, and BMXs, and all kinds of things. Anyway, all right, I'll get some more footage inside. Wow, the music is punching, right? All right, from here on in, I'm going to have to talk you in because, as we all know, YouTube does not like copyright music, and the music was starting to play quite loud in the background over here. So this is us waiting outside the gate to get in, and this is the storm. Oh, so as the gates opened, everybody just rushed in and tried to get the tables in the shade, and we were unfortunately a little bit late, so we ended up at this table in the sun. It was an extremely hot one. We decided we couldn't stay there, so we had to move on a little bit. Luckily, the ladies found a table in the shade on the other side. This is actually quite a big venue, which is it's beautiful. It was a hot day, I can tell you that much. And there's a bunch of people drinking tequila in the sunshine. had more guts than me. Seeing as I was the designated driver, obviously, also. So we got the stage in the front there, and this was literally just after it opened. I mean, we're talking about, it opened at 1 o'clock, and this was like 10 past 1. So you already had a band playing over there, and the guys were like, I don't know, I expected country music. It's not country music, it's more like country rock music, not kind of music that I know, I'll be honest. But hey, I could listen to it. It was actually really nice. It was definitely not bad. We managed to get around to the other side. Oh, there's Nicole and her friend sitting on a table under the shade. So this is where we ended up parking off the whole day, or for the event. And it's such a nice venue, I must say. It was really open and great and cool and all that. Of course, the first thing I did was to get out there and go and get some food. And in the food area, look who I ran into. Icona Biltong. Old Jamie from Icona and Port Moody, promoting biltong to the Canadian crowd. I would say he's actually doing a really decent job. Look at all the breweries and places that already stock his biltong and sell it. I mean, biltong is a great snack for you when you're having a beer. And yeah, I mean, look at his biltong. It looks absolutely amazing. He's, I mean, he's been around for quite a while. The guy knows what he's doing, and he's doing it the right way. So it's really cool. And it's his focus. I love the idea that he goes out to events like this, which is, I mean, he's not trying to sell to the South Africans. He's really trying to get biltong better known to the Canadian market, which benefits all of us really, because if he gets that right, the more biltongs available, the better for us suffers that live here in Canada. More places to find biltong, right? So yeah, if you're in Port Moody, go support old Jamie. Anyway, I needed to get some food since I wasn't drinking, so I decided to try the short ribs. And yeah, these guys were actually quite good. I mean, there was a couple of food stands. I'll show you some more of them right now. We ended up with this one first. That was my first go. Short ribs, $16, excluding tax. And then they also had jerky. Now, I mean, I wasn't going to get jerky because jerky is just not that great. This is the short ribs. It was really, actually very, very good. But I gotta tell you, $16 for that tiny little thing. Well, it worked out more to like $18 with tax. It was just too much, man. I don't know. It's not big. The next door neighbors to the short ribs guys were these hot dog oaks, but once again it's like a little buffalo pork belly is $18 and a hot dog $15. Last time I did the boerewors roll day, people complained about $12 or $10 for a giant boerewors roll. So I have been asked, did you enjoy the event? And I think the answer is not really a simple one, because in all honesty, all things considered, I wouldn't go again. I mean, it was good, it was fun to see it, and it was interesting to see it, but I don't know, maybe I'm just not the type that wants to sit in the sun on a Sunday afternoon and drink tequila and stuff while listening to music. You know, I'd rather have a braai with mates and have a beer. But the other thing also, which is a significant issue for me around here in Canada lately, is like, I don't know, man, just the price of stuff, especially at these events, like that little short ribs. I mean, they were great, but it worked out to $18 with taxes included, 18 something for that little thing of short ribs. If you buy a beer here, it's like $13. We bought some guava beer thing there also. I didn't get footage of it, but it's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, $13 for a tiny little glass of beer. It's just not fun. Maybe I'm too frugal. Maybe that's a problem. I mean, I've never seen myself as a frugal person. I just don't like spending money on stuff that shouldn't be that expensive. And that's the problem. I mean, whether we went to go and watch the Sevens rugby or having events like this, it's always stupidly expensive to buy stuff. And it's just not that much fun. There she went, off the ball. They had all of these little stands all around where you can buy different drinks, bourbons and things, and they had all these mixes, and it's cool. I mean, the fact that there was all these choices, but I'm just not going to spend another $15 on a beer. It's just not, doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I know what a beer costs in the shop. They had another food section over here. So this was on the other side from the other food section. And I don't know, the whole mac and cheese thing was a little bit like, I don't know. What do you have? Like mac and cheese. Interesting. Dos Amigos, they did pretty well, but there was also long queues at all the food places and everything. Then, of course, check at this, coming up right now. So they have more breweries, and it was like dotted all over the place. It was quite cool. Check at that. So there's the smoking lounge. That's the only place in the whole venue that you were allowed to smoke, but you're not allowed to take your drink inside when you go and smoke. I mean, it's just, what has the world come to? Here's the good old days where you could light up a cigarette outside. I know, I'm going to get shot for that. This is the water station, so you can grab some water over here that you just come and fill up. Those were the cups, those little blue and yellow cups. So when you bought a ticket, you got one of those cups, and you can use it to drink water. But also when you buy a beer or you buy a drink at one of the stands, that's what they put your drink in. So you had to like keep your cup. They didn't give you other cups. You have to keep your cup, and then you fill it up all the time with wherever you go. So as you can see, that's not a big cup, and paying $13 or $15 for that was just like to get it filled with a drink. It's just not for me, man. It's just too much. One thing I noticed that there was significantly more women than men there, and of course most of the women were dressed for the occasion with cowboy hats and stuff, and not as many of the guys were dressed like that. So that was interesting. The ladies obviously either like the music a lot more, or they get into the spirit of things a lot more than the guys. So all of these little whiskey and bourbon stands, what you bought was you bought an actual mix. You couldn't buy the bottles of whiskey at the stands. They had a liquor store stand close to the gate, and you could buy some of these whiskeys there over there if you wanted to. But or these bourbons, but you could only buy it and leave. So as soon as you bought a bottle of whiskey, you had to leave the venue. So I suppose the guys didn't do too badly. It was kind of weird though, because you had to pay by tickets, but you could only buy the tickets at the different booths, and it was just a kind of a weird setup. Sometimes I wonder how they figure it out. And then also I didn't understand, like some of them were busy and some of them weren't. Obviously people know them, that's why they were supporting some more than others. I was actually getting very hot though. The sun was baking down there, and the music was lekker. It was actually quite nice. The music in the background, the guys were playing. There were 4 or 5 different bands, and as you know, they got progressively more well known. You could see there's already a lot more people out there. And nude beverages had nothing to do with nudity. It was just alcohol-free drinks. I think there's one thing worse than paying $13 for a drink. It's $13 for an alcohol-free drink. But anyway. And they had some bag toss or bean toss or whatever you call it there. And then, of course, washrooms. And it's just like, it was actually quite interesting walking around the venue, although we kind of had to do it in turns, because somebody always had to watch the table, because everybody was trying to find all the available shade. Of course, that was probably the biggest stand there. It was the big tequila stand. Now, from what I understand, these are all leftover, so they didn't set up just for this one day. The previous day, there was another more like pop music concert or something, where a lot of younger crowd hung out around here and were partying and drinking. I didn't even bother to ask what the tequilas cost, but yeah, as you can see, it got significantly busier. It was funny though, in front of the stage you had like a couple, there was like this shade from that tree that fell like that, so it looked like a whole bunch of people, everybody was trying to stand in the shade, so you had this line or queue bundle of people watching the show. And there were obviously people that enjoyed it, I suppose. I don't know, my days I just used to like enjoy it when we got pretty trashed and danced and enjoyed the music that way, which obviously is not going to happen at my age anymore, and also not at the prices that they want to charge for the booze. But the guys were pumping. I mean, there was like a few people dancing, I suppose, and the rest just cruising around eating and drinking. So we got some of the nachos, which was actually really good. So if you run into that Dos Amigos nachos truck, yeah, give it a go. The nachos were great. And it was also $15 or $16 for that little plate of nachos. They had this thing here where you could try and lasso the bulls. And then, of course, I had to try the corn. I love fried corn. Check out this weird thing. So you have a cigar shop over here where you can buy cigars. And then over there, on the coming up, you have like a tobacco store. I wasn't 100% sure what they were doing. American Spirit Rolling. It's a tobacco shop. It looks like, you can buy smokes and cigarettes and stuff here. But this is literally on the other side of the venue from the place where you were allowed to smoke. It was just like weird, nuts. Anyway, check it. These are trying to like lasso the fake bulls. I didn't see many people being very successful at it. A few tried, but yeah, I didn't even try because I know I ain't no cowboy, right? But yeah, how's that? The cigarette shops are way on the other side from the only tiny little space where you're allowed to smoke. Oh, I got myself one of these corn things. Man, that was lekker. This was truffle and parmesan covered corn. It was really, really good. Anyway, so final verdict on the whole event. This is us on our way out. We didn't stay until 6 o'clock. We kind of got out of there a little bit earlier because it was just getting way too warm, and it's like we weren't drinking, we weren't eating, and it was just, I don't know. I suppose maybe it's just too old, or too what, I don't know, or too frugal, or too, like, whatever you want to call it. Fact of the matter is, in the end, it just didn't kind of, yeah. I suppose Alden would love it if I say it was the music, but it had nothing to do with the music. The music was actually good. It was just like, I don't know, just hot and sunny and expensive. Anyway, folks, you all must have an absolutely wonderful day, and we'll chat again soon. Cheers.